Welcome to The Pleasure Priority with me, your host, Amber Taylor. This is the podcast focused on putting you first because let's be real, sis, settling just ain't it. So every episode, we're exploring your relationships, aka the ways in which you relate to everything around you so that you can improve your quality of life. Whether it's your relationship with yourself, your family, your friends, a partner, your job, or even how you relate to money, time, your body, whatever. We're diving deep into how you can curate your relationships to get the most joy and fulfillment from life without compromise. So, to my friends ready to prioritize your pleasure and never settle again, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Hey, friends, and welcome back to the Pleasure Priority Podcast. This week, we're deep diving into the ex-professional good girl relationship persona. This is the first of 5 relationship persona types that we'll be diving into on the podcast. However, you can take the relationship personality quiz at any time to uncover deeper insights about who you are in your relationships. You can gain self-discovery within the intersectionalities of being Black and neurodivergence, as well as you'll receive a PDF of tailored guidance and opportunities for growth in all of your relationships. And it'll only take about 5 minutes, and you can take it as many times as you like with a focus on any relationship, whether that be romantic, platonic, familial, career, self, anything, you name it. So that link is in the show notes. So go take that quiz. All right, so let's jump right into it. Who is the ex-professional good girl? Well, this is the person who on paper has done everything right. The one who has excelled in school, got the good job, climbed the career ladder, and made sure everyone else was happy. They followed the script society handed them to a T. Being polite, reliable, never making waves, always putting others' needs ahead of their own, and honestly, looking at them from the outside in, they appear to have it all the way together. However, it doesn't feel like that from the inside out. They're the ones who've spent so much of their lives following all the rules, checking all the boxes, and doing what everyone else said was right, only to end up feeling unfulfilled and incomplete. And the muse I had in my head for this, and the muse I had in my head for this And the muse I had in my head for this persona type was Gabrielle Union. And you'll see this when you take the quiz, but I was thinking about everything she shared in her book, We're Gonna Need More Wine, and how far she came in her own journey of stepping away from the good girl persona. It's a beautiful and vulnerable book, so I highly recommend the read because she also shares parts of her process on how she was able to change her thinking and her behavior. And she shares so many examples of how she was the good girl because how she thought she needed to be. And honestly, in a lot of situations, there was an element of survival for it. But as she admits herself, there were definitely times where she chose being the good girl, the accepted girl, the in girl, over truly listening to her heart and following her needs. But she went from pushing down her own experience of sexual assault because she didn't yet know how to advocate for herself in a world that didn't advocate for her, to being able to proudly support her and D. White's daughter, Zaya, when she came out at 12 years old, despite all the public hate they got for it. Her journey to becoming the ex-professional good girl was long and public, but just like with all of us, the clarity comes when we listen to ourselves over everyone else and we allow ourselves to be angry at all the things we once believed is true so we can really process and move on. As she said in her book, it's the moment where you reclaim your sanity by going insane. The burst of clarity that comes with blind rage. And let's be real, this might have been you, and maybe it still is. You might be the one everyone calls when they need help, the one that always makes sure to show up for everyone else, the one who always has the answers, or maybe the one that everyone relies on to go get the answers. But here's the thing, deep down, the good girl is burnt out, and 9 times out of 10, she's operating out of a trauma response instead of her own desires. However, they are the ex professional good girl after all. Something finally happened where they had to look inward and check in with themselves. And that's when they realized that something is missing. And they also realized that being a better good girl isn't going to get the job done. They're missing that true, unfiltered happiness, joy, freedom, and fun, and questioning why. Because they've done everything right, right? Now, let's talk about the turning point, the light bulb moment, if you will. For the ex professional good girl, there's usually a moment where it all starts to unravel. And honestly, it could be many moments, but we usually have those significant experiences that we just remember as light bulb moments of this is when it all started for me. But it could be a failed relationship, a breakdown at work, or just waking up one day feeling completely drained and thinking, is this really it? Is this what my life is going to be like forever? And when you start questioning everything, all those rules you've been following, they start to feel more like a trap than a rubric for success. And you start to entertain the idea that maybe the path you've been on isn't the one you truly want. That's where this journey begins. When you stop running on autopilot and start asking yourself, what do I really want? What would make me happy? It's a powerful moment, but it can also be terrifying. Up until this point, you've worked your whole life towards something, and now you don't even know if that's really what you want anymore. And if it's not that, then what? This is that pivotal moment for the ex professional good girl, realizing that they'll never find that answer if they keep playing by everyone else's rules. They'll never fill those empty pockets in their lives and their souls unless they flip the script. And that's exactly when they know they're ready to make the leap. Breaking free from the good girl persona isn't easy. It takes a lot of courage. And one of the hardest parts is letting go of the need for outside approval. The ex professional good girl has spent years earning gold stars from everyone else, whether it's family, friends, coworkers, or society at large. But now it's about earning her own approval. And that's not to say that we should never accept or strive for outside validation again. That's not realistic. As humans, after all, we need connection. But it does mean that our own approval of ourselves, our decisions, and how we show up in the world outweighs anyone else's. The first step in this journey is redefining what success looks like for you. Instead of chasing the idea of success that's been societally pushed, you have to ask yourself, what does success mean to me? What do I value? What am I willing and unwilling to do to create that success? Now, disclaimer, success doesn't have to be about money or a title or a material milestone. It can be about how you feel, how people around you feel. It can be about your freedom of time and choice. It can be the ability to prioritize what's most important to you. It can genuinely be anything, so take the time to define what it means for you. And also, it's okay that your idea of success changes. It's okay to have once wanted something that you don't want anymore, and vice versa. It's okay if you change. And to know it's also expected. Again, we're humans. Putting yourself and your needs first isn't a one time thing, it's a lifestyle. And let me tell you, it's not selfish, it's necessary. As the ex professional good girl starts making these changes, there's one big hurdle she has to face, which is guilt. And that guilt can be so loud. It also usually comes with a 1-2 punch with shame attached to it, too. So, tons of fun. But society has taught women that putting yourself first is wrong. Not considering other people's needs or making things easier for everyone around you is rude. Not doing something when you technically can, and let's be real, even when you technically can't, is morally wrong. So, inevitably, when you start to say no to things that don't serve you, and when you start to enforce boundaries with people that aren't used to getting them from you, you'll feel some shame and guilt. You may even feel like you're letting people down. But here's the thing, that guilt doesn't belong to you. It's not actually yours to hold. It's a tool used to keep you operating as a good girl. Yep, another form of oppression. But letting go of that guilt is part of the freedom that you've been craving. Please understand that you don't owe anyone your time, energy, or happiness at the expense of your own. It's okay to disappoint people if it means you're choosing yourself. Because if you don't choose you, nobody will. And as adults, we're all responsible for our own feelings. We cannot change or create feelings for other people. They are always responsible for creating their own feelings, no matter what we do. And I've definitely talked about this in previous podcasts. So check out the locus of emotional responsibility, and I'll put some other ones in the show notes that I can't remember off the top of my head. But again, other people's feelings are not your responsibility. Your own feelings are. Choosing yourself first is. So let's just focus on ourselves, yeah? Because when that good girl finally embraces freedom, watch out. She starts living with joy, confidence, and a new sense of power. She stops waiting for permission and starts giving herself the green light to do whatever feels good for her. And I don't know about y'all, but I ain't never met a force like a woman on an aligned mission. And I know some of y'all are now thinking, okay, I'm ready. I want to break from my own good girl narrative, but where do I even start? Don't worry, boo, I got you. Okay? So, here are a few practical steps that you can take now to start your journey. One, identify your core values. So, we did talk about this a little bit with defining what success means to you, but it's also about defining what you value and prioritizing that. So, what matters most to you? How do those values change across different areas of your life? Make a list of your values and start making decisions based on those instead of what you think you should be doing. Two, set boundaries. Start small by saying no to one thing that doesn't align with your aforementioned values. It could be at work, with your family, with your friends, with yourself, wherever. But remember, no is a complete sentence. It does not require explanation. And it's okay if you can't yet say no every time. We all start somewhere, so don't beat yourself up about the progress you have yet to make. The most important thing is to start. And three, challenging your inner critic. When guilt or fear creeps in, ask yourself, whose voice is this? Is this really my belief, or is it something I've been conditioned to believe? If it's your voice, you can ask it what it's trying to protect you from, and then you can approach yourself with more kindness and compassion and protect yourself in ways that are more aligned with your current values. And four, celebrate your wins. Every time you make a decision that's in line with your true self, celebrate it. It's easy to overlook these moments, but each one is a step toward your freedom. Remember that what we celebrate we integrate. So anything you want more of, you have to get in the practice of intentionally acknowledging it. And most importantly, give yourself grace. This journey is not linear. There will be moments of doubt, but trust me, once you start living life on your own terms, it's only a matter of time before you can barely recognize the version of you that made those good girls' decisions. So there you have it. The ex professional good girl may have started her journey feeling stuck, but she's on the path to living a life that truly brings her joy and fulfillment. And so can you. It's all about breaking free from the mold and creating a life that you love. When the ex professional good girl approaches relationships now, no matter what kind of relationship that is, she's looking out for herself. She's broken up with the idea of perfectionism and needing to be perfect to be able to get what she wants. She acknowledges her successes and failures and everything that's brought her to where she is today. She's relearning how to live for herself and what makes her happy. She no longer feels the need to live up to the title and expectations of a good girl, and instead sees exactly who she is as more than enough. And she understands that she does not have to perform or be good to be loved again. She sees that her goodness does not lie with her ability to perform, but that it lies within her innate existence. All right, y'all. And that's what we have for the episode today. If this episode spoke to you, please make sure to share it with a friend who needs to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review to help spread the love. I truly appreciate each and every one. But until next time, remember, you are worthy of joy, you are worthy of peace, and you are definitely worthy of putting yourself first. Stay pleased, my friends, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me for this episode of The Pleasure Priority. I hope that when you see things can be better, you're inspired to do better. Because remember, you deserve nothing less than an abundance of joy, fulfillment, and all the peaceful good vibes. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Oh, and hey, make sure you're on my email list for more tips, laughs, story times, community, and all things pleasure. So until next time, keep living life on your terms because settling is for the birds. All right, stay pleased, my friends. I'll see you soon.